Now, would you look at that? Stunning. I'm sure you'll agree. Perfectly flat and smooth. So one thing that I want to talk about today is the difference between DIY and professional floor sanding, because I've been hearing a lot of people saying recently about how DIYers can't sand their own floors. And what I mean by that is professionals say, oh no, this is too difficult, you can't do this. Leave it to the professionals, spend 4 or 5 grand and let them do it. And obviously they can do a better job. And that's kind of my point really. I wanted to give my opinion on it. So that leaves us with a question. Can you sand and refinish your own floors as a DIYer, or should you be getting a professional in? Now, my opinion on this is that, yeah, you can spend £4,000 or £5,000 getting a professional in to sand your floors, and they're going to do a better job than you. No matter what you do, whether it's carpentry or plumbing or plastering, you're never going to do as good a job on the first day as someone that's been doing it for 20 years. It's just not going to happen. So the answer really is, yes, you can resand your own floors, but you should know that you're not going to do it as well as a professional. And I think that's pretty obvious to anyone that really thinks about it. So all the professionals that are being really just protective over their work, that are saying, make sure you hire a professional, don't do it yourself. If you want a perfect job and you've got a massive budget, then yeah, by all means, hire a professional. You should always hire a professional if you've got the money. But what these professionals don't understand that are saying this is that most of the people that sand their own floors don't have the budget to hire a professional. And they'll say, oh, well, you know, pay cheap, pay twice. But the thing is most people that haven't got the budget, they'll pay once, do it themselves, and they'll just deal with the consequences because the budget dictates. Not everyone can just throw away that money on a professional, especially people that have bought an expensive house and they've really maximised their budget and they've got a floor that just looks terrible and they need to strip off that surface. Then of course, sanding your floors yourself may be a very good option. Now, as I say, DIYers know that they're not going to be able to do as good a job as a professional. They're just trying to save some money. But the mistake they make is they think that it's going to be easy. Now, floor sanding isn't easy. It's a very involved task. It's a very high touch, artistic thing to do. So the best thing you can do is get online and search and learn as much as you can. In my experience, the people that do the very worst jobs are carpenters and painters and decorators. And the reason is they think they know it, especially carpenters. They work with wood all the time. Yeah, I know wood, you know, a little bit of sandpaper, just give it a little rub down and then put some lacquer on it and it'll be fine. And they always do the worst jobs, builders, carpenters and decorators. And it's just the assumption that they know how it works. So they just do it and they destroy the floors and it ends up having to be redone. Whereas most people that do their own floors, they go online, they do a search, they learn a lot about the process and they really care as well. So they are more likely to go that extra mile even though they don't know, so they haven't got as much experience, but they will go the extra mile if they know and do a really good job. Another mistake that a lot of DIYers tend to make is that they think it's going to be a lot quicker than it is. So once they get into the second day and they're thinking, wow, this isn't going as quick as I should, I'm still on the 60 grit, I've only just completed the edging, and they'll start rushing for the finish, they'll just vacuum the floor and put a coat of lacquer down. Whereas people that know that it's going to take a bit longer and what to expect and what to look for in the sanding, in the scratch patterns and stuff like that, to make sure that they know when it's ready to be coated or stained, then they'll do a much better job because they're kind of forewarned and forearmed. So in summary, if you're going to be sanding and refinishing your own floors, you've got to know that no, you're not going to be as good as a professional that's been doing it for years, but you can massively increase your chance of success by doing a good bit of research and finding out the proper ways to do it. As I say, the number one cause of people not doing terrible jobs and messing up their floors is by not doing any research, just assuming they can do it, or even worse, learning from people who have made videos, teaching people how to do it when they've only done it once and they didn't learn themselves. And if you want an example of these videos, then watch my video, wood floor refinishing fails, which will be linked at the end of this video. I am a bit negative on these guys in this video, so on these other guys' videos, so give me a bit of a break. Don't give me a thumbs down. I've already got 45% or something thumbs down and a lot of negative comments, but I've also got a lot of comments from people saying I watched these videos and I did what they did and now I'm having to redo my floors again. So avoid that trap. But if you want to check out that video, then click right here. Oh, and like and subscribe. Good luck.